This is the Rays POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Tampa Bay Rays, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Tampa Bay Rays POSTCAST, your spot for instant Rays reaction to every single Rays game, including incredibly embarrassing performances like we saw at Steinbrenner Field tonight. My name is Jonathan Shields. Go ahead and follow me at Twitter at Johnny10Shields, but I'm a lot more active over there as well. And this one, we're going to be talking about how just completely inept the Rays are against hitting left-handed pitching. We're going to talk about how the biggest key in this game to me was how the Phillies lineup makes you work. Now the Rays lineup does not. And we're going to start out by talking about what I think every single Rays fan should be talking about.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Just an incredibly embarrassing performance today. You look at this Rays lineup against lefties again. Cristopher Sanchez, who was once upon a time in the Rays system, trades for Curtis Mead 1-for-1. How bad does that trade look now? Obviously, it's hindsight's 2020. That was all the way back in 2019. But Rays muster, drum roll please, one hit off of him and zero even threats of scoring, 0 runs. And as a Rays fan, you just don't know what to say. I mean, you look at this lineup when you see this lineup come out, and first of all, the first thing you say is, thank God Yandy's in the lineup. Like, thank God he's healthy. And you see Danny Jansen batting fourth. You're like, oh, I don't love that. And you just keep going down the lineup. I mean, Jansen and Mead hitting as your 4 or 5 hitters. They're both hitting below $150. Taylor Wall, I mean, it is just incredible. The bottom 6 players in this order did not record a hit. Cabby got a walk, and that's really about it. I mean, just a complete laughable performance. Every single person in the Rays organization should be embarrassed by this. And where do you go to next? I don't know. I said rock bottom was a few days ago when they lost to Max Fried and the Yankees when they lost their 4th in a row, but this might be rock bottom. I mean, the complete lack of ability to hit left-handed pitching is something like I've never seen, honestly, in my years of watching baseball at a high level and in any team in the major leagues. And is something that the Rays, I think, need to address now, because I don't know how much drastically this is going to change when you get guys back. Hyun King's not going to come back and just save this team, right? He's a right-handed bat. Josh Lovers, Pistachios, John DeLuca are not going to come back and just save this team. I think an outside move to be made, and one of the things I wrote down is it's time for Eloy. He's not even on the 40-man. And I'm not going to act like I'm an expert on what he's doing in the minor leagues, but anything has to be better than this. Anything has to be a better combination of Jansen and Mead hitting 4-5 in a major league lineup. Just embarrassing that a team can even go out there. And one other thing I wrote down is they can't even compete with the Phillies. Now they can play with them. They can't compete. And they got demolished. And for the Rays want to get where they want to go to, they need to compete with elite teams. And the Yankees are not as elite this year as they were last year. I don't think the Rays can compete with elite teams at a consistent level this year. Whether it is the Dodgers, whether it's the Phillies. Thankfully, the Rays, most of the elite teams are in the National League. The American League is really not that good. But you look at the elite teams in the American League, like I think Texas, even though they just blew a lead to Boston tonight and they're not very good, I think they're the most talented team in the American League. We saw how the Rays did there. Right now, the best team in the American League is the Tigers. I mean, Skubal would go 9 innings in under 60 pitches against the Rays. And I don't see how the Rays compete against any of those top teams right now without just major revamping to their offense. And it just goes to the second bullet point here, how the Phillies lineup makes you work. The Rays lineup does not. Cristopher Sanchez did not have his best stuff tonight. There was a point where in the 6th inning where he threw more balls than strikes, and the Rays didn't have any runs. I've never seen that before. You throw more balls than strikes, not in the 6th inning. It was the 4th, 5th inning. You don't even you barely get a runner to second base. I mean, I've never seen anything like that. And again, you start to look, how can the team fix this? You start to look for solutions. Where can the team go? I don't know. I don't have any answers for you right now, Rays Nation. I really do not. And if you're watching live, we got a lot of people in here right now. Leave a comment. We always get to the comments at the end. So comment down below anything that you guys would do, because even though I got on Kevin Cash yesterday, I'm gonna get on him again coming up in a little bit. With this lineup, what more can you do, right? The Rays are analytic heavy. Danny Jansen, I don't love batting fourth, but I think, batting sixth, he's gone on base 14 straight times. He's getting together good at bats, but Curtis Mead just has not proved to be a major league hitter at a consistent level. And obviously, like, the Rays have injuries, but with their current roster right now, what can you do? And not to mention, the Rays' next 2 games are against left-handed pitching, and we're going to get to Rays against lefties coming up here soon. So you're right. I see a lot of comments here saying that the Rays have a fraction of the Phillies payroll. Yeah, but the Rays have competed with a fraction of the Phillies payroll, fraction of the Yankees payroll for years. Like, to me, that's not an excuse anymore. It's what's to be expected as long as Stu is the owner. And I just don't know. Like, I've literally come on here not really knowing what to say and how to fix this offense. Normally, I try to come with solutions for this offense. I mean, put a person there. Jonathan Ron has been the Rays' best hitter. Last time he started against a lefty, he got completely embarrassed. So I don't know if that's really the answer. I hope they play him tomorrow, because anything can be better than a combination of your bottom 6 players or bottom 5 players being Curtis Mead, Brandon Lau, who's in an awful slump, Caballero, who actually provided a good at-bat or two, Taylor Walls, and Chandler Simpson, again, just looks lost against left-handed pitching. So I don't know that there's not an answer for this Rays offense against left-handed pitching, at least not a clear answer. And I would love to hear if anything for you guys to say in the comments that we'll get to later. And we're going to talk about the Rays against left-handed pitching, because I have some numbers that you guys are going to want to hear. They are pretty incredible. We're going to talk about the Rays versus left-handed pitching right after this. This episode is brought to you by Wonderful Pistachios. Looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious? Crack into a good source of protein with Wonderful Pistachios. Wonderful Pistachios is one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1-ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better-for-you unsaturated fats to keep you feeling fuller longer. Personally, I love the no-shell variety. It's a perfect grab-and-go snack for busy days, whether I'm snacking on my desk or on a road trip, or just need a quick protein boost. They're always my go-to. And if you love cracking open every shell for that satisfying crunch, then the in-shell options are always a classic favorite. Get snacking and get cracking with a snack that provides a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. This episode is also brought to you by Supply House. Get the supplies you need from the site made for skilled trades, Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is a reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400 plus top brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. And for trade pros looking for an extra edge, their free Trade Master program offers exclusive perks like dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage. Now it's your turn. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. So, again, we're going to get the comments at the end of the live, so leave them in there. I will get to as many of them as possible. As now, we are going to get to some Rays number against left-handed pitchers that they face against other starters. 0 runs scored, 4 runs scored, 3 runs scored, 0 runs scored, 0 runs scored, 0 runs scored, 4 runs scored, 0 runs scored, 0 runs scored, 1 run scored, 0 1 runs. This is now, after this outing, 7 of 11 outings, the Rays have failed to score a run. In the last 48 in the third innings, the Rays have 5 runs and 18 hits. That's all courtesy of Evan Clopsy, again, one of the best follows on Rays Twitter. That is astonishing numbers against left-handed pitching, the worst that I've ever seen in watching baseball. And granted, I'm young. I'm not, some 50-year-old guy who's been watching baseball 40 years. But in my time watching baseball, and trust me, I have watched a lot of baseball. I've never seen anything that much. I mean, that is laughable. I mean, it's laughable. And for this team to even be 4.5 back of the Yankees in the division is borderline a miracle. And I would love to hear any solutions you guys have for turning around against left-handed pitching, because the way that the Rays are constructed right now, there's not an immediate fix. And honestly, when the guys off the IL come back as well, there's not a guy where you're looking at like, man, that's going to just immediately ignite this lineup. And it might be Ha-Seong Kim. Maybe it's John DeLuca just getting another right-handed bat in there. But man, I mean, some of those guys cannot come back soon enough. And obviously, it didn't help that Shane Baz didn't have his best stuff. But again, that goes back to the Phillies lineup just makes you work. I mean, just battles and battles and battles. I mean, the first few innings, Shane, who's normally very efficient, he's gone 7+ at least 2 times this year. He was up at 70 pitches in the 4th inning, even before that big kind of explosion in the 4th by the Phillies. But it's because that Phillies offense makes you work. And watching the Rays lineup compared to it is just laughable how easy it is, especially when, again, Sanchez did not have his best stuff. So let's get to some other points I have written down here before we get to the comments, as now the Rays have lost 10 of the last 11 at home. Just completely and utterly laughable. And it's not like the Rays were always a bad home team. Coming into this year, since 2016, the Rays were 396 and 2 wins, 282 losses at home. More than 100 wins at home over the last, 8-9 years. And now they go to, and it's not even like a Tampa St. Pete's thing. And I hear the excuses, like Mark Tompkins wrote a story the other day about like the Rays players making excuses with the wind. And, that's causing some of the offense problems at home. I must be helping everyone you play. That's one of the most laughable excuses I've ever seen from a professional team, to blame the changing winds when each team has to play in the exact same scenario, on the exact same field. Just a laughable excuse. And again, where's the immediate turnaround? Like, how do we not know that would we have any faith that there's going to be some change tomorrow against another left-handed pitcher, against a better left-handed pitcher than the Rays saw today, and Jesus Luzardo? How are we going to know that there's going to be something better? Just utterly awful. And again, this is almost like an anomaly. And it's like the Rays have been good at the Trop. The Rays have more than 100 home wins and home losses over the last 8 years. So, I mean, this is literally just unexplainable. And then I don't know if you guys noticed, I thought this was funny. And the reason I'm touching on it is because we talked about it for so long yesterday. The Rays literally used like their 4 best relievers tonight for some reason. So, and they didn't use them last night. And I understand they probably had no one else to throw, but it just makes the decision to throw Englert in the 8th last night just even more laughable. That I still cannot and honestly will never get behind from Kevin Cash. So this one's more forgivable because there's literally like no one in the pen that can throw that. So you got to throw some of your guys. But yeah, let's get to some comments here. We go to Jack's takes first. Straight up awful and embarrassing. All of our pitchers have one of those games every 3rd game. Yeah, I mean, for the pitchers, I give them all the benefit of the doubt because, what else do you want them to do? I mean, they're literally like, if we give up more than 2 runs, we're probably going to lose. So right when the bunt single scored them, I literally wrote down it's over because I don't see the Rays coming back from 2 runs against a left-handed starter. No much. As we go to Gary again, we always like to find some positives. One positive stat: Junior is hitting over 300 at home, and on the road he's 122. So he must like how the winds kind of go and swirl up there. So yeah, it is just bad. As we go to Jackie Moon, it was a new commenter. Welcome. Who said, we have to remember this Phillies lineup is also elite. That to me, that's not really an excuse. The Yankees lineup, you could argue, is elite. You could argue that, name your lineup. Every lineup's going to have their elite hitters, right? Is there a better 3 combination of baseball than Turner, Harper, and I'm blanking on the other guy's name. He's gone on base for Kyle Schwarber. Probably not. But like, I mean, everyone's gonna have to play the Phillies at least once this year. Like, to me, good pitching will almost always be good hitting. So I don't love that. As we go to Arginus, he goes, that's what hurts most to think the division isn't out of reach, but these streaks are going to ruin their chances at it. I agree. And it's a miracle that the Rays are not 8 games, 10 games back in the division right now. It is just terrible right now. As we go to Laser the Wolf, another new commenter. In my opinion, the thing with this team is they refuse to spend money on any semblance of major league hitting. As a result, their lineup suffers. I agree with that. Obviously, I agree with that. But at the end of the day, Brandon Lau's getting paid $10 million. Yandy is near that number. Ha-Seong King's going to be near that number when he's healthy. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what else more you can expect when you don't spend the money and when guys get hurt. Normally, the Rays used to beat you with their 40 man, used to beat you with their depth, and now, I mean, their depth is being tested, especially in their outfield, like it never has been before. As we go to Alexander, literally everyone can hit at the Rays as a Rays supposed home except for them. Yeah, so that's why watching that, reading that article was one of like the most laughable things that I've read, honestly. Let's go to Rays Outlet, who's another good follow on Instagram as well. Carson Williams hit 2 homers today. Can we have him up since our offense is bad and can't get any worse if we call him up? Yeah, they're not going to call him up because sure, I'd be surprised if they called him up, mostly because Hyesung King is going to come take that starting shortstop role when he's healthy. But yeah, I mean, you need a jolt to life, and I think calling Eloy up is the plan. If you have to, you're going to have to DFA someone to do it or take someone off the 40 man to do it. So I don't know what that is, but that's what I would do, honestly. And again, there's not an exact switch. Like if there's a switch, like Kevin Cash would have found it, just immediately have them start playing better. But I think I would look. What do you have to lose? Bring in Eloy. Like he's proven it at some level, and he's better than half the Rays hitters right now, honestly. So I think you have nothing else left to lose. Like that's what I would try to do. As we go to Tito, who's another new commenter. I was at the game. It was a Phillies home game. Yeah, I mean, just kind of embarrassing that this keeps happening. And like, I'm not really big in the whole stadium, St. Pete, Tampa. I don't care. I just want to stay in the Tampa Bay area. But like, I like the Phillies. Again, I said it yesterday. They do spring training in Clearwater, so a lot of them live here already. But all I heard from the Tampa people was there's going to be a lot of Rays game, a lot of Rays people at every game, and yeah, I don't see it. As we go to another new commenter, 8AZ Rael says, need to replace Morel. I mean, Morel probably had the hardest hit ball of the game in the first inning. I think he hit a 111 off the bat. But yeah, I mean, look, Christopher Morel is not a guy that you hit second in your lineup, which again, the Rays had to do today. So I don't know if you have to replace him. I wouldn't replace him because what are you going to get better? I think there are much more glaring things that the Rays need to replace, and Christopher Morel is much lower on that list. You got to think like you need a shortstop that can hit the ball consistently. Like I'm telling you, Taylor Walls, we can bookmark this. Will not get 4 hits the rest of May. Like he got 4 hits in the last game of that Yankee series. So yeah, keep getting those comments in if you guys have anything else to say. Again, just an embarrassing loss, an incredibly disappointing loss. And what do the Rays do going forward? I always try to be as optimistic as I can. What can the Rays do to help them win tomorrow and going forward? And there's not an immediate answer. But again, I trust Kevin Cash more than anyone to be able to find that answer. As let's preview the game tomorrow as you guys start to get your last few comments in before we wrap up, as the Yankees are in extra innings right now. So hopefully they lose so the Rays can keep pace. But hey, at least the Rays aren't the Orioles, and how bad the Orioles have went. As Jesus Luzardo will face Ryan Pepio, another lefty, probably one of the 5 best left-handed pitchers in the game. Jesus Luzardo was on the Marlins for a long time, I believe. Let me double check that. He was really good for them. This year he is 3-0 with a 1.9 ERA. He has 47 strikeouts to just 11 walks. So that walk number is already almost half. It's half of what he had last year. So walks might be a little bit concerned for him. But again, just another elite left-handed pitcher that I don't know what the Rays are gonna do. So yeah, I mean, I see a comment in there expecting another shutout tomorrow. I mean, it would not surprise me at this point. But I would hope that the Rays kind of show some fight, right? I mean, it's half the time doesn't look like they're showing fight. It's like when the other team scores first, you can just feel all the energy go out the dugout and out of the stadium. So, yeah, hopefully, it puts all the pressure on the world on Ryan Pepio. It's like, go limit that lineup. That's probably the best lineup in baseball. I would put my money them and the Dodgers, the 2 best lineups in baseball. Go hold them to 2 or less runs so our offense could just maybe have a chance. I was going to raise outlet. The problem with Eloy is where you play him, because they have Yandy at DH, Ronda at first. Do we play him in the outfield where it's injury prone? You play him in the outfield, but especially, I mean, Meisner he's in a 4 for 37. You play him in the outfield, you stick him in left field or right field. The Rays lineup is not Oakland or Oakland's old stadium where you have all this ground to cover. Like you really don't have that much ground to cover. So I would play him in the outfield because you need that bat. I mean, I just think if the Rays can get him up, I don't know what process goes into that. He's on the 40 man. They got to DFA someone. I understand that, but when Coco Montes is the only other guy that can play right now, that's a right-handed bat on the 40 man. Like you got to start. Like this offense needs life. Like we're about to start having to hit the panic button on. Honestly, it's time to hit the panic button on this offense against left-handed pitching, because what can they do at this point? It's nothing. They can't do anything. They've proven like I said it before. When things happen, twice in a week, right? In this case, twice in a month, it's a coincidence. This is a trend with Rays against left-handed pitching, and it is absolutely time to panic as we go to Rays Outlet again. Real quick, this is probably going to be the last comment. Again, if you guys are in here right now, and this is one of our biggest live audiences that we have, leave a like and comment. Again, it was really good to get a live audience in here, and especially with this just embarrassing Rays loss, as they'll probably DFA Janikowski, send him down. Meisner, so bring up Joshua and Eloy. Yeah, but Joshua is just he's probably still another week out because he starts his stuff in Durham on Thursday. So I would Janikowski's actually been pretty good. So I think they send down Curtis Mead over any of those two guys, if I'm being completely honest with you. So it'll be interesting to see as we will go ahead and start to end it here. So again, if you guys made it all the way to the end, make sure you leave a like and comment, as we'll go to Gary real quick for the last comment. He's making him close to coming back. Last time they checked, it was basically status quo with him, that he's still probably at least 2 weeks from kind of starting to get back in the rehab game. So 10 days to 2 weeks. So again, another guy that would be a welcome back to this Rays lineup, because he's another guy that can at least take competitive at bats against left-handed pitching. So again, guys, what's the best part about baseball is that the Rays will hopefully try not to disappoint us tomorrow against another left-handed pitching. But I always try to be optimistic. I love doing the postcast with you guys. I appreciate everyone popping in here, everyone that's going to watch the replay. Thank you guys all very much. And again, we'll be back here tomorrow, hopefully with a Rays win. I will see you guys then.